That's right. Okay. In the past few weeks, sessions rather, I think Marius has talked about Go, right?
Yes. Once, I think. I had one class when you talked about Go.
Oh, what was the second class about?
Oh, that was the last class was about Go.
Right. So, what have you learned so far about Go? What have you learned so far about Go?
How to build a small application.
Cool. Which IDEs are you using for that purpose? Who's building on the command line? Who's using other IDEs? Yep. Visual Studio, okay, yeah. Yeah? Golang, yes, that's right, okay. Other IDEs? It would be good to get an overview of what everyone uses or plans to use, so we can... Wim, okay. So you're going hardcore. Okay, you're in for pain, okay, interesting. Okay, you?
Atom.
Atom, yeah, okay, yeah, very venerable. And you? Light IDE, okay, okay. Okay, so quite a diversity in terms of competence here. So who has managed to set up Go and get it somewhat running? Okay. Cross-validation, who didn't? Okay, because of any particular reason, or?
It's just because I started, so...
Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's a different story. But okay, everyone has something running that is good. Someone posted this really cool tutorial, or I don't know, FAQ, yeah, I guess, mini tutorial on modules in Go, which is pretty cool. So thank you, whoever did it. So in the past few weeks, or week, so Marius is not here this week, otherwise he would continue probably talking about what he was talking about. I think you probably have a lot of questions regarding Go and some issues using it. Two things. To get an overview, I would really encourage you to use the issue tracker here, right? So, because that's the thing we mostly keep an eye on. If you have particular concerns, just post them here, especially if they're generic, right? If you know that 5 other people have the same thing or might have the same thing in the future. Okay, if it's about a syntax error in your Go code and it doesn't compile, it is still maybe worthwhile posting it there, but you know, if it's like the odd, very specific problem that you have, then of course makes more sense to go one-to-one. But in general, for issues relating setup Go, using modules and so on, or specific issues with IDEs, I would encourage you to create an issue. So why would we create an issue? Why not just talk on Discord? Well, we can do that as well, but why create an issue?
Sorry, can you repeat that? You spoke really fast. What did you say?
Sorry, I'll remind you. What did I say? Good question. Why would we want to create an issue for more general problems that we encounter?
Because more general problem, because like mostly don't do. So if one has a problem or many, they can almost go there, find the solution, because it's general, so it affects the general.
Yeah.
Audience.
Yeah, so there's this thing that on the one hand, everyone, you know, third parties, whoever responds, can respond, right? I have an issue, someone for you is fast to respond, or has had the problem already and can answer it. Version number 2, we respond to it, and then everyone else can see it and actually probably work on follow the same kind of guide when they incur the same kind of issue, right? When they experience the same kind of issue, well, third of all, that's the obvious one. So we kind of capitalize on knowledge. So actually, operationalize it. So that's why many people use issue system or some sort of knowledge management. And the last one, of course, because you get marks for it, right? Because that's considered class participation as well. So bear in mind. So that shouldn't be your prime motivator. But in worst case, if you need to find justification why you would want to post an issue, it could be that. Cool. So far, issues encountered. Some issues with Go modules. So if you haven't checked out the tutorial there, that's worthwhile looking at. Otherwise, we'll attend to it later. Version number 2, the second one encountered was issues with setting up Go 1.13 in Visual Studio Go. Code, sorry. How is code? Okay, people seem cool about it. That's fun. That's good. So that can be a bit yeah, a bit icky, but fundamentally it actually works. The key thing is that Visual Studio Go uses whatever Go version you have associated or is on the path, so it actually will find the version you have and run with this one. If you have more questions or want to test this out on your machine, we can do that afterwards. Did anyone have problems setting up Go with GoLand? GoLand. Is everyone aware about GoLand? The reason why I'm bringing this up is, yeah, but probably one thing I should talk about is, it's a customized version of IntelliJ IDE, which you probably know from somewhere else. Did anyone come across IntelliJ before?
No.
JetBrains, yes. In what context?
I use Python, and so on.
Yes, okay. So you exploit the entire portfolio. Well, not the entire, it's quite rich. For two reasons. Number one is it's kind of a generic IDE, IntelliJ, that you would want to know, I guess, because you may encounter it in the future. It's very popular in Java development, of course, but it will definitely be something you probably see back once we'll talk about, once you actually will have the mobile course, which we have next semester, I believe. Yeah, or nay? Who's still signed up next semester in the degree? No?
I think we have the mobile next semester.
You have more next semester, right?
Yes.
Usually.
C++, I think I have. And bachelor thesis. I don't have any mobile development next year.
You're the odd one out.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the odd one out. But the regular second years would have mobile next year. And they will use Android Studio. And that's pretty much the same thing. It's built around the IntelliJ IDE. And the last reason for doing is perhaps considering using it as well. I don't want to encourage you, just want to raise the awareness, is that is technically a paid license when you want to use it, but you get it free when you're a student. So as long as you're a student, you can just try it out and then forget about it afterwards if you don't want to use it or think about using it. I don't want to advertise, I'm just saying that's one option. So you have a fully fledged, fairly rich IDE that you can use, and it's also cross-platform available. But our VS Code, of course, is a very valuable solution as well. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to prepare you guys slowly for the assignment, right? Because the best way of learning things in Go or wherever else is really about doing it on the job, meaning you have a concrete, specific problem, right? So in order to do that, we still need to learn about one or two more concepts, so we can actually give you the assignment without you falling over backwards on your chair and realizing, oh, what the heck, I have no clue what to do. So I need to talk a bit of some other concepts related to web technology to make you bring us all on a level playing field, and then we can give you the assignment and you guys can get cracking. Are there other specific Go issues that I need to address, like now, as opposed to after the lecture, for some people?
You mentioned something about GoLang.
GoLang, yes.
Yeah, because I haven't gotten really far. What is GoLang?
All right, sorry, that's syntax. So GoLang is the language, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I say GoLang because it's ambiguous to Go, and if I say GoLand with a D, that's the IDE. Sorry, that's an invading personal space. Fairly. Just to get those two things disambiguated, that's a good point. GoLang. So generally, the website generally is also GoLang.org and GoLand. You gather that this is most likely a G here. It's probabilistic, but it's a G. So GoLand, that's the IDE, right? So if you want to check that out, that's something you can do. There's a sign-up link for students. I think I will post a brief. Post this link in the wiki so you guys know where to actually register for your student license if you want to, and you can extend it as long as you're a student at any public, probably also private university, I don't know, as long as you're in the tertiary education system. Cool, that's the thing, right? Okay. So, and GoLang is the language. I don't see any, the level of desperation seems low. Okay, so we do everything else afterwards. So what I want to talk about today is setting or grounding further concepts that you guys need to know in order to actually start doing our assignments. Oh, there's some comment. Please.
Do we have a timeline on the assignments? Do we know when we're going to get them?
Yeah. So I hope I can bring it out by tomorrow, else worst case before next week. The thing is that next week I'm not here, so it would be odd because I can't present the assignment, which is not a clever idea. So I try to do it tomorrow. But we need to have the lecture we're having now in order to actually follow the assignment. Otherwise, you will just throw tomatoes or whatever else you find at me because you have no clue how to address it. So, but yes, the timeline for the assignment will be somewhat overlapping. We didn't decide on the deadline yet. We think about late October right now, and it may actually be co-located with the deadline for the assignment 2 as well. So that's one of the ideas. So we give you considerable time for the assignments, but I'll give you more details tomorrow. It's probably sensible. Okay. Yes, assignment is important. That's right. Yeah.
You say that the deadline on both the first assignment and the second will be at the same date?
That is right. That's one of our concepts that we drive. Yeah, coming back to that idea. So we generally co-locate the assignment deadlines. Any reason why we do this? Are we just too lazy and don't plan ahead? Yeah, that's reason number one. But what's the actual reason?
To teach us how to manage work.
Cool. Yeah, explain more, explore.
More, because if you have 2 assignments, you have to study how we can plan your schedule so you put as much time in one project and the other one, so we manage how to work on both, because in the future we're probably going to have many projects to have to balance.
Cool. That's right. That's precisely the motivation. So, particularly in the first year, you get fixed assignment, they're all sequentially, and there are fixed deadlines and so on. And what happens there is that apart from you developing skills and actually putting it to use, we also manage your time, right? So but we tell you, okay, this time from you probably should be working on assignment 2, right? And we want to move that a bit away because in reality, that's not how it works. When you do get closer to your bachelor, for example, it's kind of up to you to work on your timeline, get it done. In your professional life anyway, you may have multiple concurrent projects, which you already have now in the bachelor as well. I appreciate different papers that you need to learn to manage. But you can also do it in one course. So we give you 2 projects with the same deadline, and you need to manage to finish them at that deadline. How you manage it, well, it's kind of up to you. Of course, you need to think about then having your own schedule and timeline by which you want to work when doing those projects. That's the key idea there. Nothing too tragic, but it just requires you to think about your timing. Make sense? Not? It's an experiment. We'll see how it goes. It usually goes interesting. Interesting is neither positive nor negative.
Did you do it last year too?
Yeah. Yes.
How'd it go?
Well, people are not used to it. Usually it's a bit of resistance because people have never experienced that. But it's a very sensible move to because you want to learn. Some of you are doing rapid prototyping this year, for example, and they has really about developing metacognitive skills in a sense. How can you estimate your workload, your time, your ability, and your skill set, and so on? And that's the same here, right? So by having some heuristics by which you can guess, okay, I need that time to do this, I need that amount of time to do the following. Hopefully, you get better at it, right? So as opposed to learning it afterwards, in worst case after bachelor, which is not a good idea. You probably would want to be comfortable once you're done with your degree here. So last year was a bit of disruption, or people got it in the afterthought. The thing that's dissociated from this will be the last project that you're going to be working on. Okay. Thanks for reminding me. It's a good motivation.